Can I get to the yams? Sweet yams.
Can somebody tell Will to retire this song, please? Like, just straight up retire it. Like, let it go. Let it go.
I'm never retiring a song about
Let it go. Yeah, I'm so tired of the yam song. So let it go. Will ill.
It's
all
funny,
right.
Because you're showing your age with that song, because not even.
First of all, that is my annual Christmas song. Like, what's gonna happen at the end of November is Shakira is gonna start playing "Let It Snow" by Boyz II Men, and I'm gonna play the whole album, and I'm gonna watch The Christmas Story, because those are two things that is my tradition that I do during Christmas time.
I just want
so hater over there.
I just want you to know
that
Let It Snow is really about crack.
No, it's not. Shut up.
They from North Philly, dog. When they say "Let It Snow," they saying, "Yo."
They're not talking about crack.
They're like, "Yo, let it snow." And you out here singing. It's a double entendre. It's like, what Hope you talking about?
Anyway, we want to welcome you to this week's episode of the Culture Gumbo podcast, led by Shakira and the crazy one in the corner, Will.
Man, we'll just Teddy Farrow. How you feeling? How you doing? Hey ladies, how you doing? You see my luxurious skin. I'm not shaving right now for a friend of mine, and I'm also looking to bring back Slim Fat Jesus. So
what, are you gonna cut it off and donate it?
Nah. I got challenged to not only grow my hair out, but grow my beard out. You know what I'm saying? I'm beardly challenged because,
God. Or you patchy beard.
No. See, because the thing is, if you actually look, like, get close to my face, I have blonde facial hair on my face. I'm not gonna dye it. It's stupid. But
you could though.
It's genes, because George Washington was my great grandfather. But I'm growing my hair out and my beard out so I can become Slim Fat Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get this one ab. I'm gonna make the ladies go crazy.
All right, ladies, attention.
Yeah. So you got your, how Stella got her groove back braids, and now all of a sudden you too good to.
No, that's never the case. You know, this is all about not doing your hair. Yes. Thank you, guys.
Some man who pro-black and he eat bean pies was flirting with Shakira today, and they had a spirited conversation.
And he had 10 rings on. He had a ring for every finger, and he had a horn. Anyway, he might see this episode. You never know. But either way, it was a hotmess.org. But I was happy to see Black people in Nashville. You get excited. You're like, oh, Black. There they are. Anyway, let's start the show. Will, how you feeling? How have this week been for you? We kind of had a little bit of a quick hiatus, but don't worry, back to regularly scheduled programming, or however they say it. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, after our challenge, I felt like it was needed for both of us to be able to, reconnect with ourselves and do the things that we need to do, or something that was a conversation that we both had. So I've literally kind of just been working on myself, man. I've been like resting and relaxing. I mean, of course, I'm still shooting other podcasts also, but I cut back dramatically on everything. So you'll start to see me back on your screens soon, because I'm back. But it was a much needed rest. I feel like I'm learning more and more how much rest and self-care is important. And my therapist was like, yo, I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? She fine. So I'm with that. But she not finna give me no play, because she like 55, 56, and she keeps telling me that I remind her of her husband, so she not gonna deal with my shit. So
oh gosh. All
how
right.
You feeling?
Wow. Well, on that note,
how you feeling?
I'm feeling super empowered as we close. We're in this fourth quarter, right? It's October, so starting the fourth quarter, ending strong. I have been, as you put it, we working on ourselves in continuance of the challenge that we did, the 90-day challenge. And right now it's just about refocusing. I think that's definitely the goal for the end of this year, for this quarter, is to kind of refocus. I have had a lot on my plate, and I might have a lot on my plate for the next 6 months. But my goal is, after that 6 months, things are going to start to die down for me, and I'll have more freedom to be able to not just have the self-care and the personal things happening, but really for us to really take this podcast to the next level. And even the additional podcast that will be coming soon. I will not give the name of it yet, but there will be some promotions happening soon on that. That will be a podcast that I have myself, and hopefully people will tune in. But I know why I'm doing it, so it's okay. So other than that, it's really just about refocusing. So I'm refocusing right now and putting me first. And just like you said, like getting rest. So taking a little vacation next week, but we will still be recording, and using that time to kind of just like, literally, I might just be in the hotel for a whole day, like in the bed, like doing nothing. And then exploring a city. So yeah, so it's been good. I'm glad to be back and ready to get this, just get everything going, popping.
Most definitely.
Say that no more, but
they
whatever.
still say popping.
Okay. I don't know if I heard anybody say it, but I'm just gonna say it. I'm ready to get things popping off. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, I heard that. Let's go ahead and get into our culture news first. So if you've been living under a rock, you'll know that LA City Hall right now is going through it. It's a lot of corruptness going on, especially beginning with a situation where there was a clip plan where the city council president Nuri Martinez actually spoke about a white council member's black son and used a Spanish reference meaning looks like a monkey. This kind of set off a firestorm. If you've been on social media, you've seen that there have been clips with even members of the community coming in. And I don't know if you saw the one where the lady came in and she said fuck within about like at least 8 times within a 2-minute span. I mean, it sounds wild. Shakira, give us your take on this and give us a full understanding of exactly what's happening, what's going on currently.
So, I mean, the fact of the matter is people don't realize that we have these these things called cell phones that can pretty much record at any time. And sometimes people in power don't realize that they are the ones being recorded. I'm sure right now he's kicking himself all the way in the behind because of this audio that was leaked from 2021. And he probably thought it would never come out. And the fact of the matter is he talked about the black son. He talked about Jews, Armenians, Mexicans, or Asakans, and I apologize if I mispronounced that. I probably did, but it is a community, a Mexican community. And there have been calls now to council members, for council members to resign. And Martinez actually resigned this Wednesday because, of course, he couldn't take that pressure. Herrera resigned on Monday night. And so this just goes to show you that, you can get into these high places and have this power, so to speak, but not realizing like the racial tones behind it. There has been bribes and additional scandals that happened throughout City Hall. Even there's also the mayor's office that has had allegations in 2020, where Mayor Eric Garcetti sued the city, alleging he was repeatedly sexually harassed by one of the mayor's top advisors. And the suit claims that Garcetti witnessed some of the inappropriate behavior, including crude comments, unwanted touching, but did not intervene. And the mayor denies the claim. So I know that there's more that's going to come out about that. It's really sad, to be honest, because it's like you get these people, you vote for these people, right? Let's talk about that, because voting is coming up. Not presidential voting and some of these mayoral votings have already happened in most states, but you vote these people in office and you don't look into the other sides of them, right? You're just hearing their political views, not realizing that they're racist. Let's just put it that way. And this has been coming out. There's another article that I read about a police officer that was, I'm sorry, he wasn't an officer. He was actually a commander in chief. And he was pretty much saying how he was trying to get all the Black people. I don't have the name of the chief right now, but he was pretty much just an article I recently read this week, where he's trying to get all the Black people that are on the force off the force because it's time for them to leave. And so I say all that to say, like, we put these people in power, we vote for them, and yet don't realize the racial tendencies that they have. And I think that that's something that needs to go into factors when these questions are being asked. When it's time to vote and they're sharing their views, that part needs to be addressed, because a racist when you hear one. Yeah, and definitely. And sometimes it's just the questions we're not asking. And I think it's time to clean house for that. Because if those are the people in authority, then what are they telling the people that they lead to do? So to me, this is not too shocking. It is LA. We've known LA in the past have had a history of racism and brutality and beyond more against Black people and Hispanic community as well. So I hope that all of these officials resign and we get the right parties in there that are, that have a equal balance to what we need to see as a people. It's sad we're still talking about this, but I think it's more importantly now, what do we do?
I mean, the thing is that, and I was watching someone actually titled celebrity actually talking about, I want to say it was Angela Rye. We want to see more people in power who are Black or brown, who look like us, but we don't want to go vote. And then right. once we vote and we don't get everything we want immediately, that person is a failure. Like, we don't even understand. A lot of times, some of us fully don't even understand what it looks like to have slow progress instead of no progress. And it's like you take the first slight that something can't get done because of other issues, a slight is taken down. Do I also believe that Democrats especially have kind of taken our votes for granted? At times, yes, definitely yes. But there also are points in times where we put people in office more or less where we've won over things and we've been able to gain certain things. So we have to understand the process of what it means when not only we put someone in power, but the fact that we have to vote. Like I said, we talk about this on the show all the time. We can't only vote for the major elections. It's the smaller elections, such as the city council elections, such as the mayor, such as the governor, which allow us to be able to have the things that we need, not only locally, but federally. And then these people go to the Senate for us. So I'm in full agreement with you. Seeing this play out over the past week or two has been really weird. But the sad thing is that it's not a shock at all, because it's basically right. normal at this point.
Sadly. But yeah, absolutely. I agree. So Only time will tell to see what happens. And again, yes, everybody get out there and vote. And it's not just about voting, but look up who is in. Do you know who's the heads of your cities, of your towns, or the mayors and the chiefs? Do you know who they are? Do you know their names? Do you know anything about them? Because all of that matters in considering to vote, not just saying, oh, I'm a Democrat, I'm voting for a Democrat, because you may not agree with all of that Democrat's views. And there's nobody that you're going to 100% agree with. But what are you willing to say, okay, I'll accept this from this person, versus.
Right.
So I don't care if you're Republican watching, that's fine, but make sure that that is what you agree with and what you want to see happen in your area. Start local, and then we go big as well. So this should be an interesting election coming up. I'll say that.
Definitely. Well, one person that we already know where they stand election wise, and now
and who wants to be in 2024 vote
overall, Kanye West. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to give this any kind of shine or any kind of attention, but this brother is literally spiraling continuously. And now this morning, last night, if you got a chance to check Twitter or social media in general, he's being invited back on Drink Champs today. So first of all, let's talk about this White Lives Matter t-shirt. So if you did not get a chance to see it, Kanye wore a White Lives Matter t-shirt hand in hand with right-wing, I don't know what to call
white girl,
Candace Owens. And he wore this to a Yeezy fashion show, apparently, that was really popular. In the show, he even had other models, black models, wearing these White Lives Matter t-shirts. On top of that, recently he is being pushed out of social media currently. His accounts were temporarily restricted on Twitter and Instagram because he made some anti-Jewish comments and actually threatened the Jewish community. He's made comments to Lil Boosie about being bullied and shooting up schools. He's about to lose his brand with Adidas. I believe Balenciaga is about to let him go also. And then on top of that, he's actually being pushed out of I want to say, is it JP Morgan Chase or is it Wells Fargo? He's being pushed out of his bank also because of the comments that he recently made. And the weird thing about it is that, come to find out now, we're finding out that Candace Owens is actually his how do you say it? She's basically his spokesperson at this point. She's guiding a lot of his thoughts. She's guiding a lot of his needs and everything. Shakira, I gotta ask, are we tired of Kanye yet? And but the thing I have to ask is,
and normally, I would be against saying
but is it our fault? Because we've made this man into be a genius, and we've forgiven him so many times. Well, we haven't, but our people have forgiven him so many times, and it's all in the name of him being a musical genius.
I don't think it's our fault, because I also think that a lot of people who buy his stuff is not just us either. Like us as Black people is what I'm saying. I think that we have given him a voice for so long that he feels like he can voice at any time, and no matter what he says. From the time he came onto that stage, interrupting the award show with was it
Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift. From that point, Kanye has gone downhill from that point. Because at the end of the day, right, he's a multimillionaire, right? He roams alone. He doesn't have bodyguards, he says now. I don't even know if he
that man got bodyguards. That man got bodyguards. Them big ass dudes be with that man 24/7. Don't let him lie to you.
No, when he was on Drink Champs, he said that he came there by himself without bodyguards. And they said he was by himself. They said, oh yeah, he was in Miami by himself. That don't mean that they're not nearby, but what I'm saying is according to him, he roams the streets now just by himself. I say all that to say, I think that we gave him a voice, and you know how Black people are. We thought, oh, he's saying what everybody's thinking, and you looked at that as cute. You know, it's like laughing at your kid when the kid cursing up a storm, and you're like, he's so funny, so cute. Meanwhile, your freaking kid starts cursing everybody out at school, start cursing the teacher out, and then you be like, why? I don't know where this came from. I don't know how he ended up this bad. Well, because you allow so much and you don't put any restriction or any boundaries, and you laugh at it and you encourage that behavior. Why wouldn't the behavior get worse? And I think that that's what we did with Kanye. We encourage the behavior. He gets to come up and say whatever, jump on these interviews, and people like, yeah, stick it to him, Kanye. But what y'all failing to realize is he don't know when to stop, right? As a child, they don't know when to stop, like where that boundary ends. Like, is there a time where I need to just shut my mouth? But it's like, no. Has he always been cocky? Yes. But has it gotten worse? Yes, because now y'all gave you, as in the words of, I believe it was Dave Chappelle, or on his show, y'all gave that nigga money. You gave him too much money. You gave him so much money and so much power that he feel like he is invincible. And he will tell you that. He feels like he can do anything. And I have seen people on my social media feeds, people that I personally know, that have said, y'all just mad because he do what he want. And I love that he can do what he want. And I'm not against having the ability to do what you want, but he don't consider the people he's affecting when you do what you want, right? You still have 5 children, right? He has 5, right? They have 5 kids.
They got 5?
Or is it 4? Oh, they definitely have more than 3, hun. All right. Well, he got 4 to 5 kids, I'm gonna say, because I'm not about to name all of them. I don't say, and I don't know. But I say all that to say, he got all these kids who are still looking at him and his actions. Read, a few of them can read now. So you're seeing the ads and the newspaper and all this stuff. And like, you have to explain why you're doing that. Do you want them to wake up and just be reckless, right? Because they don't have to worry about money or anything like that. So I just think sometimes, no matter who you are, even as a celebrity, I don't think you should just get a pass because you want to say everything you want to say. Like, yeah, we're on this podcast, and yeah, our views, is my view is my view, your view is your view. And but at the same time, when I get to that place, when I get the bag, that don't mean now my mouth should be more reckless because I got the bag. So now I'm about to just tell everybody everything. I don't agree with that mentality. And I know that it happens in the industry, especially in our culture. But I really feel like, Kanye West is going to be Kanye West, and there's no one controlling him, and that's fine. But the more fuel we give him, the more he's going to think it's okay, it's acceptable, and whatever. The more you shun him, the more he'll decide, there's something I need to change within me. Because at the end of the day, y'all made him rich. I didn't buy every Kanye album.
I'm not gonna lie. The last Kanye album I bought was My Beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasy. I don't count Watch the Throne because Watch the Throne was also a Jay-Z album. But
I bought the God album. And I liked it. So, but at the same time, I can't say that I've purchased and I definitely have no reason to buy no Yeezys because they look like alien shoes. I don't even know why people like them. They're like walking around with aliens on your feet. is just stupid to me. So all y'all spending $1,000, $1,500 on some sneakers that really look like marshmallows on your feet. It's stupid. So whatever, y'all made him rich. I just, he made more money in fashion as well. So whatever, kudos to him. I'm not gonna knock anybody money.
I knew you was gonna get on here and you was gonna put us in the position to be attacked, and that's fine. That's fine. Well,
if we're not attacked at some point, then we're not doing our job.
Well, I mean, that ain't fully true, but okay. Listen, his new Drink Champs episode is actually scheduled to be shown today, October 15th. So if you're interested, you can definitely watch it.
I am gonna watch it. I am.
So you're part of the problem then, because you're giving
I mess with Drink Champs. I absolutely mess with Drink Champs, and I support Drink Champs. So I'm gonna watch it because
I'm not supporting Drink Champs on. I'm not supporting Drink Champs on this one because they better than that. They don't have to do this interview, and they are. The shop didn't do their interview. They could have dropped their interview, and they didn't. You make choices on that. I'm not supporting that. I love Drink Champs, but I'm not supporting that. I think it's stupid. I think it's reckless because, yes, you're giving that man a platform, but you're giving that man a platform to go out there and be an embarrassment on a continuous basis. So, no, it can't be one way or the other.
I think it's bigger than I think it's bigger.
It's not bigger than that because we've heard.
I think it's bigger than just being on a podcast. Like I think until people stop actually purchasing his items, he's not getting paid from Drink Champs.
If you are giving him a platform to speak, you are giving him an opportunity to continue to grow and spread his misinformation and bullshit.
Well, like he said on the clip, he felt like if he didn't do Drink Champs, he wouldn't be eligible to be a presidential candidate for 2024.
Right. And y'all gonna continue to support that.
But
bullshit.
Guess what? We watch it. No. We do have people that's gonna vote for him. I guarantee you.
You just sat here and went on a whole rant. I'm not trying to hear that shit.
But do I want to watch it for my pure entertainment and joy?
No, I'm going to laugh. The problem is that we have allowed him to be pure entertainment and joy with his bullshit. See, look, that's God telling you you're full of it. That's God in front of my face. That's God telling you you're full of it. You cannot support him and then say that.
I'm not supporting him. No. I am supporting.
You are supporting him. If you are supporting. We both know how podcasts work. We both know how media and public relations work. If you're supporting that podcast, you are supporting him. You're not supporting.
He's not getting paid from that podcast. He's not getting paid.
He's
not getting paid from that podcast.
You just said here
Noriega and EFN is getting paid from that podcast.
And said that you are not supporting him. You and I both know giving him a platform to continue.
I didn't give him a platform. He already on it.
If you're watching it, you're helping to support the platform.
Because I believe in the podcast. Yes, if I had a controversial, I would have a controversial person on my show.
You cannot have it both ways.
I want the ratings.
I don't see. All ratings ain't good ratings. Just like all money ain't good money either. So you a slave to it.
That's not a slave. It's about me.
You part of the bullshit. You might as well go ahead and be like, yo, let me get that White Lives Matter t-shirt and let me send my support because it's
the devil's a lie.
Moving on.
Moving on.
You know what I'm saying? Speaking of bullies.
Speaking of bullies.
Yeah, you're a bully. You're a bully.
No, I'm not a bully.
You're a bully and you're wrong. You're wrong and you know it. And you just admitted it talking about something you want the ratings. That's bullshit. No, I don't want the ratings. If Kanye come on this show, he's gonna have to run me the fade first because he's gonna get beat the fuck up first. So I don't even want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And Kanye ain't gonna go at we've seen Kanye ain't gonna go at no real black people. You know what I'm saying? So he can do that all he wants to. That's why
he not going on the
that's why Pete Davidson was out here sliding this girl, you know what I'm saying, and still showing her support now because she breaking down and now they out here talking again. So he gonna be sliding to her again. Anyway, okay, you support Kanye. I don't want to hear nothing about it.
I'll support Drink Champs. Anyway, go ahead.
Drink Champs. This week has been a big week for women in rap. The supportive system of female rappers seems to have gone out the window as your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, apparently, Nicki Minaj and Lotto had a
That's not my
back and
favorite
forth
rapper's favorite rapper.
had a back and forth this week on Twitter. On Twitter. And this is based off the fact of comments that Minaj actually made about her song being moved from the Grammy. So from the Grammy rap consideration nomination. So what happened is Nicki's Super Freaky Girl song dropped. Okay, it was popular. It was placed in the rap category, but then it was moved to the pop category. Nicki went on live and she went on Twitter and she made a statement basically stating, if you're going to move Super Freaky Girl from the rap category to the pop category, you have to be fair and everybody should be moved. Then she used Lotto's Big Energy and stated that Lotto's song should also be moved to the pop category. Now, Lotto, who I don't know if you've ever listened to Lotto or seen her freestyle, I don't know if it's really her, but Shorty can rap. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, she's not my generation, but I wouldn't. I don't hate on her. Get that money. I like her.
Lotto's not a slouch. If you got to get a chance, go see her Funk Flex freestyle.
Although Nicki said that she could name all the ghostwriters that's writing Lotto's.
Okay. Well, Nicki also said during her live that pretty soon the Grammys are going to be moving all black people out and call Lotto a Karen because Lotto was mixed, which if I'm not mistaken, Nicki's not fully black either, but that's neither here nor there.
No.
Anyway,
and there's so many other rap like to do that. I feel like she's single. Go ahead, finish.
So they went back and forth. They went back and forth. Nicki tried to basically kind of weaponize the word and call Lotto an entitled Karen. And Lotto clapped back and said, "Baby girl, you're a 40-year-old bully."
You're older than my mom.
Went back and forth. Yeah, they went back and forth with Nicki basically. You know, Nicki stood up for herself, Lotto stood up for herself. So I have to ask you, with all the problems that have happened in women's empowerment in rap, and then it was brought up to me about I was unaware of all the beefs Nicki had with
so many
female rappers currently. Apparently she's had beef, and I don't know if this is true or not, but from reading, of course, Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, apparently in her beef with Lotto, something was said, and apparently it was something that was referring to Meg Thee Stallion, Cash Doll, and a couple of the other mainstream women in rap right now. So I want to get your thoughts on that, and your thoughts on the fact that Nicki has now, from my opinion, become what she stated Little Kim was when Nicki was coming up. So I want to get your thoughts on that and your thoughts on this current beef.
All right. And this won't be a long rant, I promise.
Lies! Because when we talked about it last night, you got worked up and you was ready.
I know, but you know what I mean? I done calmed down a little bit or whatever. So the whole drama with Nicki is, the reality is Nicki has been out since what, 2008?
2010.
So she done had 12 years.
Right. I'm sorry, 2008, 2009.
I thought she came out in 2008. Right. Okay. So she done had 13, 14 years in the game. Lotto done came out, what, a year or 2 years since the pandemic, fresh out the game. New, even Meg Thee Stallion's been about 3 or 4 years. Like, these are all new. And my thing is, when you feel threatened that people are going to take your place, you go to start singling them out. First of all, Nicki, you are 40. And actually, I think she's 41. We're about the same age. You've been in the game for over 13 to 14 years. You've had your shine. You're still getting shine. You still have a fan base. But the thing about it is how is it the game if there aren't people coming up after you? And then the people coming up after you, you should be congratulating or excited for them. I seen on, and this isn't a sidebar, but just to point as an example, I was watching Cardi live or Cardi page, and it was her birthday yesterday or sometime this week. And the young up and coming rapper Glorilla, you know, came to her studio, and she bought her like a bezeled out watch.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
She was like, oh, she got me a bezel, and she got her some earrings, and she was like, nobody ever did this besides my husband. But that shows like that love for, like, she like, look, I'm young, I'm new to the game, I'm only like 22, you know, like, I look up to you. The fact that you even did my song and kind of put me on the map even more because you were on that song, like, I appreciate you. And I feel like, why is that not happening right now? Like, and then we go back to the 80s and the Queen Latifahs and the MC Lights. Women was happy for other women coming up, because if the difference is, if you are a rapper, you weren't the same rapper. Queen Latifah didn't sound like MC Light. MC Light didn't sound like Roxanne Sante. You know, like, they all had their own different styles. The difference is, in today's young women rap, everybody pretty much just talking about how they man gonna go down on them, and they got this and that and sex. And so it couldn't have been 10 Little Kims in 1995. It couldn't have, right? You only had her and you had Foxy. It wasn't a whole bunch of, and even them, they had beef at one point during that segment. So imagine 10 of the same people. Of course, the oldest one is going to get angry because now her money is dwindling, not dwindling in the sense of she, her bank account dropping, but she now got all this other competition of the younger generation coming up, and they love it. Glorilla, I like that song a lot. And I don't listen to a whole bunch of the other rappers, but what I'm saying is, like, you should be an example by now. You've been in the game 13 years. You should be at a point where you could sign one of these young girls, but you're not, because you're still trying to be the young girl. You can't do in another 5 years, girl. You ain't gonna be that chick.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see, like, Beyonce is selective when she puts an album out. Why? Because she knows she can, and she's gonna always have that fan base. But the reality is, she also spaces out because it makes room for the Snow Allegras. It makes room for the I can't think of a name right now. Janae Aiko, and the rest of all of them. So those are all singers, but I just say that to say, like, come on, Nikki, you too old for that. Like, you too old, son, sit down. Nobody's listening to your rap anyway, because your raps aren't really that good anymore. It's not like when you first came out. When you first came out, it was like, yo, this chick from New York, Nikki is fire. Now Nikki got a baby, she older, she needed to go sit down. She could still do albums. I'm not saying that she washed up. She's not washed up.
I feel like she should be a better elder statesman.
But she can be she's in a better place right now where she can pull somebody that's 22. This girl is half your age for real. And you sitting here like, I'm about to Twitter beef, and she called you. And then recorded did you hear the call?
Yeah.
And then recorded the call, and you still sounded like a little, I don't curse for the people. I'm not saying it. But what I am saying is, you sounded like a little girl on that phone, like you was beefing at 17 years old. Like, but what you not saying? I don't hear you saying nothing. And she's trying to come at you like, I respect you. I honor what you've done. She's like, it's a misunderstanding, and you're not trying to hear that because you're trying to create the beef so you can put out a song and everybody buys it. We know your game. Nikki. Give it up.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? I can understand defending your territory if you feel like you're wrong. I don't have a dog in this fight. I do understand what a lot of people are saying, because I'm not as tapped into, I mean, no disrespect, but I don't just be out here listening to Nicki Minaj because I'm like, that's the greatest thing I want to listen to. But I do understand that there are a lot of people who don't agree with the stuff that she does. And what I'm finding weird is one of my homeboys from high school, that I'm cool with, and super outspoken, right? He has a nice little social media presence online. He mentioned something about Nicki, but he wouldn't even say her name. And I was like, yo, why you subtweet? Why you don't just say her name? And he was like, fam, he was like, I'm not about to be dealing with the Barbs. And then I did some research, and apparently the Barbs be out here cyberbullying. Oh, no,
they go
folks.
hard. They go hard. And so I like, you know, again, that's not, even if they came at me, like it is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna change my stance.
You from Jersey and you ready to fight it all the time, so you don't care.
That's not it. I'm just saying, like, I'm entitled to say what I want, and I've watched it. I've watched this, and that's why I like Cardi B more. Let's just fall away, put it out there, and just throw it, because the reality is Cardi B is not a hater.
If we're being real, a hater. Cardi is much more comes off as much more approachable, because she still has that around the way girl mentality, which is what people love and appreciate, which is why, like, I saw the thing with her and Glorilla. I saw how much she promoted the joint with Glorilla. A lot of the rap chicks out here are, so I think it's weird that they're fighting. I'm a big Meg Thee Stallion fan. I love Meg Thee Stallion. I think she's, you know what I'm saying, a dope artist, and she comes off as a dope person. Also, what's weird to me is when you go back and you look at, and I say this without choosing a side, although, you know, it just feels wrong on both sides. When you go back and you look at some of Nicki's interviews from 2010, where she talks about paying homage to Lil' Kim, and she talks about the issues that she felt like Lil' Kim had with her, it almost feels like 12, 13 years later, everyone is saying that about Nicki.
Right.
And my thing is, if everyone is saying that about you, you might need to take a step back.
You might need to reevaluate
and look in the mirror, because with all due respect, yo, Nicki had an awesome run. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about it in the past tense, but for like a good 8-9 years, she had a chokehold. It was just Nicki. She had a chokehold on rap because it was just her.
She didn't have no competition.
It does look bad that now all these other women are coming up, and now it's like, now it seems like you have a problem with everybody and you're picking and choosing.
Because she thought it would just be her, and she was just it. She felt like, I'm the best female rapper and there's nobody else. And I'm like, if there's nobody else, you're saying there's no room in the game. There's so much money out here. There's so much talent out here. There's so many undeserved artists out here. Like,
if underrated. I'm being respectful, and I'm gonna take heat for this, and I don't even care. Yo, Nicki's nice. She's in my top 5, but Nicki's not in my top 3. Like, she's not in the top 3 female rappers of all time for me. Like, in no particular order, that's Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah, and Eve. Like,
that's definitely not my list.
Like, so here's the thing I'm gonna say about this, because I had this conversation with somebody else. Nobody in rap wanted it with Eve. Nobody.
They didn't.
You didn't see too many people beef.
If Eve would have stayed a little longer, oh boy.
Eve had her run, and then Eve ducked in a cut, and she chilled. You have to understand, Eve was out here out rapping DMX and Jadakiss. Like, these are like, these are Mount Rushmore rappers.
She said she was a pit bull in a skirt.
Like,
believed her.
I ain't even just saying it because she's from Philly, even though, yo, Philly, what up, stand up. But I never saw Eve doing this. I never saw Queen Latifah doing this. I never saw Missy Elliott doing this.
You even barely have social media. Even so Remy Ma. She's had
Remy
some
be wanting to smoke.
But I love Remy. Like, I love
But Remy is unproblematic to the point of Remy don't want to smoke unless she feel like you're being disrespectful.
Right. She's a New Yorker. So
I love Cardi. I love Lotto. Before all this other stuff began to happen, and I don't know what caused it for Nicki or what caused all this stuff to happen, I feel like to a certain extent, it's more the fan base than anything.
But that's what she's doing this for.
But at the same time, she eggs it on. Cause like I've seen like where she's like, apparently like there was this one lady who had to file a lawsuit because like they were doxing her, and Nicki was liking the tweets. And it's like, yo, if you liking the tweet, it's like the Kanye West thing. If you liking the shit and you giving the shit a platform, you egging it on. So I hope that they get this figured out lyrically. Lotto got it.
But that's what
he got a ghostwriter or not. Lotto got it. So I don't know if that's a beef you want.
That's what Ebro said. Like, he was like, he added Lotto and was like, stop talking, just write a diss track. Just write because at the end of the day, that's how we beef in hip hop.
Exactly.
We write a diss track. You ain't gotta make no phone calls. Just kill people careers. We all know in the rap game have been killed by a diss track.
I remember when Queen Latifah went at Foxy Brown and Foxy couldn't respond. Like, Foxy is nice. Yep. And Foxy couldn't respond. Yo, you do the diss track.
Just like LL shut Cassidy down.
LL shut about everybody. LL has like a tombstone of dope rappers
of people that he has shut down. So it's like your career can die. You know, Drake kind of shut Homeboy from the Clips up, you know. So I just feel like
I thought you was gonna bring up Meek. I was about to be.
I was gonna bring up Meek, but Meek shut himself down.
Meek was going through some problems.
He shut himself down. So we really gotta even. Ain't nobody fault for that.
Meek admitted he was stuck on the drugs and he was stuck on the yams of Nicki.
All right, well go and that again. She shut his career down. Anyway,
same sense.
I'm just saying we gonna move on from this Nicki drama, but real talk, I really hope that that I hear a diss track from Lotto so she could just shut Nicki down and tell her. I want to
see everybody win, man.
And that's the bottom line. There's so much room out here, but if they want to go do it, go ahead, because you got if all these young female rappers teamed up and did a whole diss track, I'm sorry, y'all and Barbs, Nicki might be done. Yo. If they all came together and did a diss track,
and they out here.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
They out here, and don't put Cardi on the diss track, because Cardi ain't even got to say the hottest stuff out. But the fact that her delivery is gonna be on there,
delivery would be killer, and it'll be a wrap. So
I don't want to see a beef. I want to see them all win. I would love to see Nicki and Lotto do like a joint come together.
But honestly, like, how much longer does Nicki have in her career at 41?
I mean, Hope's still out here.
No, yeah, but he's doing something else. What else is she doing?
She got radio. She got a bunch of brand deals. Like, Nicki out here. Like, I ain't gonna take it away from her.
No, she is. No, that definitely. But what I'm saying is, some of them has shifted to doing other things, just like Riri. We haven't heard an album from Riri in how long?
Oh, they saying Riri about to have a brand new album.
I'm looking forward to a new Riri album because it's long overdue. But what I mean is she took time, step away from that, and developed these other areas. And I feel like once you start getting older, you need those other sources of revenue coming in, because you're not gonna make as much as you once did when you first came out 12 years ago.
I just want to say Rihanna out here looking real delicious.
Yeah, she got that mom body going on.
She out here looking real right.
She's super thick. Yes, go Riri.
I just want to put that out into the universe. I love it. So let's go ahead and move on.
Yes. So the next thing is up, and what I want to talk about, is the question of so I've recently in the social media world, I have seen a lot of these couples, the celebrity couples, have been divorcing, and so the main question is, is marriage dead? Is it old? Is it outdated? Are people just over each other? Do you think it's because of pandemic, or do you just think it's like life is short? I realize that, and I don't want to be here no more. So we got Anthony Anderson. After 22 years, he divorced from his wife. Miguel just got married 3 years ago. I don't know if that was pandemic making him want to do it, and then he just said no. Tom Brady, Giselle Butkin, Butkin, they're getting divorced. Tia Mari after 14 years. I didn't even see that coming because they had just went on a birthday vacation together. So I was like, y'all just went away like last week, and next week you're like, we're done. Gary Owens and his wife Kenya Duke after 18 years, Bill Gates and his wife after 27 years, Tracy Morgan and his wife after 5 years. You
going down the list of everybody?
Yes, and the reason why is because although they're ranging from 3 to 27 years, the question is it over? Like, do people want to be married anymore? What is your thoughts?
I think in the age of social media, marriage is taking a hit. But I also think it's because women don't have to take men's shit anymore, because y'all are out here just as powerful in comparison to like our grandmothers and, you know what I'm saying, and such in the 70s, 80s, and even some into the 90s. I think it's more or less of the authenticity of it, because you still have great marriages out here, man. You got Grant Hill and Tamia, you know what I'm saying? You got Holly Robinson Pete and Rodney Pete. Like, you have some, you know, Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance just celebrated, I want to say, almost 30 years of marriage. So you still have great marriages out here. I think social media has kind of created a facade of what marriage is, on top of the fact that women are tired of our shit as men, on top of the fact that...
So you think it's just a cheating thing?
No, I don't think it's a cheating thing. I don't think we value marriage in the same way that our parents and our grandparents did.
I agree.
Like, our parents and our grandparents, like, these motherfuckers married 40, 50 years. Now, granted, you end up finding a lot of times that, like, Big Mama stayed with Grandpa because Grandpa was out here, you know what I'm saying, fucking everything that moved, that he really was a Rolling Stone. But
yeah, my grandfather, we found out he had AIDS when he died.
I don't know how to continue the conversation.
Well, you said Papa was a Rolling Stone, and he really was. We just didn't find out until he died.
Condolences to you for that. I mean,
no, it was a long time ago. It's big. It's not. That wasn't for condolences. What I'm saying is, like, you know, that
you just kind of threw that out there. You were just like, oh no, like, what the fuck, bro? Yo, you were on one this episode, dog. I'm just gonna put this out there. You were really on one this episode.
I'm sorry.
Like, Shady asked me a question. Listen, my grandfather had AIDS. He was we should not be laughing about this. But okay, I think it's a difference. Like, when I talk to a lot of my female homegirls now, or when you and I talk, I understand that, yo, y'all be so out here fully fed up with dating and sick of our shit that y'all just like, listen, I'll be by myself. I also believe that the age of social media has changed the way that we look at love. And it's to a point now where we want microwave love. Like, you got reality shows out here where these motherfuckers are just going on, and they got 90-day fiancés, and they got let's get married and let me get some butt after, you know what I'm saying, the second episode. So, like, that's kind of how it goes. Where, like I said, in comparison, our grandparents and our parents, in many of those cases, yo, they got married after like years of courtship. Like, we don't date.
We don't even know how to date today.
I don't even think it's that we don't know how to date. I think we know how to date. I don't think we know how to court.
Yeah.
Like, courtship and dating is two different things. Like, there's intentions. I've been accused of it too. Shit, in my younger years, you know what I'm saying? You be chilling with a John, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got 3-4 months in, and Shorty be like, what are we? And you be like, we're just ordinary people. We just we're like,
John Legend.
She looking for y'all to date with intention. So I just think it's a number of things, but I think social media has literally provided a distorted view of love.
I really wouldn't say social. You want to know why I don't believe it's just social media? Because there's a lot of people that's not, like, they don't have their spouses like on social media like that for that reason. But I do think that
of course not, because they don't want Sheila coming to them as a woman.
But right. But I do think that as social media has progressed and just the access of who you could see and how you see it. And even Boosie mentioned it in the interview, like, you know, before social media, your girl used to just, you know, go to work, she see her coworkers, she come home and see you. But now social media, she see all these other men and all the stuff they say and they do with their spouses and their wives and girlfriends. And then she come home to you like, why you not doing nothing? When you
start using Boosie on Marriage to be
but I thought that was funny, and I thought it was a really good point that he said, because the truth is social media makes us compare our lives and our relationships.
No, they were doing that shit in the 80s and 90s too. Like, are you know what I'm saying? Because Dorothy was seeing Ernest at the corner store when she was going to get the bread before she was coming home.
Really? Okay, well, no, and no.
You know what I'm saying? About actual. That's why the cat from the corner store was beating down your auntie on a regular basis, and he was beating her cheeks on a regular basis because she was going to the store for some Salem Lights 100s. You know what I'm saying? And she was coming back with her guts dug out. So let's be honest.
Oh my gosh!
If you look at it, it's really social media, because social media paints this picture of what love is.
But I do.
That's why you had these people doing these videos where it's like there's this woman, but you don't see the man because he wasn't Kelly in the background, and she grabbing his hand and they frolicking on the sand, and the song Hours is playing in the background.
This dude, y'all.
And then when they turn the camera off, these things don't even get along.
Right. And no, so the bottom line is social media makes you see a picture and think that is actually what it is. But the reality is it's not. And I also think that no one wants to really work at, like, we talk about all this self-love and self-care and self, but nobody actually wants to work on how do we work together? Can I work to be a better help for you? Because marriage is really two whole people coming together and continuing to do what they need to do.
Because Big Mama wasn't bringing Grandpop no low vibrational plate, and they
listen, nigga, you gonna eat what I cook.
But I think you also have to look too that thoughts and processes have changed for so long. Now, in defending my fellas, also, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna take some hits for this, and I don't really give a fuck. I don't want to hear how much of an independent woman you are, and you can do this and you can do that without me, but then you want me to pay all the fucking bills. Absolutely not, money monster. Okay. If you independent motherfucker, then we're gonna split these motherfuckers. Now, if you're gonna do the whole submissive thing and you're gonna do like grandma used to do, okay, then all the bills be
but that means you taking care of me.
But that's the thing though. But see, that's the thing though. And I've actually encountered this through like watching my friends.
There's no way I could be a housewife.
Is that the woman wants to be, a lot of these women want to be independent when they want to be, but then it's like, oh, you're not a man if you're not paying all the bills. Well, baby girl, you're not a woman. If we going back to caveman time, you're not a woman if you can't cook these biscuits from scratch. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, now I'm not gonna argue with that. Honest, I do feel like it's about and it's about finding that balance. What does your man want?
But at the same time, these niggas ain't shit because they out here listening to Kevin Samuels, R.I.P. and this nigga ain't have it all together either. Like
look how he died. Look how he died.
He died. Yo, he died with a BBW up on him. And he
wrong. Just all wrong. So the bottom line is I don't think that marriage is dead, but I do think you need to have a certain mindset before just getting into it on some just because I love you. Because it's not just because I love you, because that is not gonna last.
I believe
I do want to be married. I do believe somewhere out there in the world today that my husband does exist,
He selling bean pies and he arguing with somebody about the black man's plight.
Bean pies. We are not doing that.
He arguing about the black man's plight and why Beyonce is in the Illuminati.
But I feel like at the same time, I also have to be what he wants in a wife as well, whatever that is. But that's a discussion, and that takes being open to communication and so much and so forth. And I think that marriages work, point blank, period, because things change.
So all jokes aside, I'm a hopeless romantic. Like, I love. I believe in love.
I'm trying to marry a hopeless romantic.
I'm trying to marry a woman. I'm trying to have like Disney passes, and I'm trying to have us take trips, and I want to do all that silly shit.
And y'all wearing the same outfits?
Listen, I want it all. Like, I want it all. Like, I want to build a fort in the house, and I want us to have romantic dinners and hide out, and I want us to be kids together. But at the same token, also
I feel like God gonna send me a romantic guy because I'm not romantic.
You need it.
I really take offense to that whole statement.
I love you to death. As one of your closest friends, I can say you truly need it, because you be a hard ass for no reason, bro. Even when you was talking about stuff today, which I'm not gonna get into, when you was talking about stuff today, I was like, this nigga is just angry. He just be wanting the beef. I'm a hopeless romantic. However, I also know and understand that everything ain't for me and everything ain't love. So even in the situations like we talk about all the time, like the women I deal with, they can be great women, but they're not always for you. It doesn't always click, and it's not always there. And you have to decipher between what's real and what's not. Like, granted, yes, looks are important, but nigga, I'm 38. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't have a conversation. Right. If I can't have a conversation with you, if I can't be in love with your spirit and your conversation in your soul, it's not going to work for me, because I love conversation. Like, that's just the type of person I am. But I also understand too, and here's the frustration that it comes out as a 38-year-old man, is the women who I know are available have been done so wrong and so fucked over. It's Fort Knox trying to get to him.
And that's the truth.
And at 38, I've been through it too. You know what I'm saying? I've had my heart broken. I've had some things happen. You know what I'm saying? We're all not immune to it, but I don't think we all appreciate the fact that we all come into it with these fears and these desires, hoping that someone is willing to take a chance and listen. So when you get that person and you meet that person, y'all have that conversation and y'all click, y'all can have fun. Y'all can have all these great things in common. But as a woman, the woman is looking for, what is this? What is wrong with this fuck nigga? Because I know this. I know that she was,
because you're like, it's too good to be true. Like, that's one of my biggest. I'm nervous about. And I know we got to wrap this segment up, but
and the man on the other end is like, oh man, I know something's wrong with her. Why she's still single? Like, I know some great women that I talk to, and this is fucked up of me to say this, but I converse with someone on the phone. Those relationships are not super close. Ironically, my best conversations are with women that, like, I talk to on a regular basis on social media. Like, these are like friends who are like all over the country, and we have conversations all the time, and there's no pressure, there's no nothing, and you're not even thinking about all that kind of stuff. And my therapist was just like, why do you think that is? And I was like, because it's easier to connect with someone that you don't have to see on a daily basis, because you don't have to be vulnerable. So like, I've worked on that. Good. I've worked on that. And I'm actually like, when God brings whoever is going to come, as ambitious as I am and me constantly feeling like I'm never truly going to be ready, I'm ready for it, because I'm ready for the challenges, because I know that love is not going to be when everything is like bright stars and peachy creamy. I know those are going to be the great moments, but love is going to be those nights when, like, she's studying for an exam, or she's studying for the bar, or whatever she's doing. Because a lot of my friends are like in grad school and all that kinds of things. Love is going to be those moments of frustration where you know, as perfect as she was on paper, as perfect she was in the beginning, that's when you start to see her vulnerabilities come to play. And it's like, yo, you can be a man and stand up and be there to support her and vice versa. Right. So it's like, I'm at that point where I'm like, yo, bring it on. Like, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for that genuine shit. You know what I'm saying? My only thing is she got to be willing to chill and watch Harry Potter. You know what I'm saying? She got to like Caribbean food. You know what I mean? And she got to be, I don't want that, but I don't want nobody who's uptight. I'm not an uptight person.
You're not gonna get anybody uptight because you're silly.
You will be surprised. You will be surprised.
That's maybe because you're reserved, though. You might get uptight people because you can be reserved at times, and they probably look at it like
I'm an introvert, but I'm goofy. But the knock that I've gotten from women who have been interested, and I've been told this recently, is I don't realize how flirtatious my personality is. So a woman told me recently she was really interested, but the reason she didn't allow me to pursue her was because she felt like I was like this with every woman. And I was like, you gotta
change that. You gotta change that.
But that's the thing though. There's nothing for me to change because
here's my thing though, because if that comes across from her, then when you get the woman that you are really interested in, she's going to think you're flirting with everybody.
I've got that my entire life. But even in talking in therapy, my therapist was just kind of like, listen, when that woman comes along and y'all had those conversations, like I've been in love before. And even my exes know that I'm not like that. When I'm with you, I don't see anybody else. It's not that. Like you have to understand me and you talk about this. My conversation, the reason why people feel like I'm so charismatic is because I'm an introvert and it's fight or flight for me.
Right.
And I love being in the presence of women because you guys are interesting. There's always something new. There's always something dope. And I love to learn. Mm-hmm. It's not me flirting. I'll tell you when I'm flirting. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really know how to
point of flirting.
And I don't even really know how to flirt, but you'll know because you'll see it in my personality.
I don't know how to. Oh no, I'm lying.
But it doesn't. You've called me out about me talking to people before, but that's just my personality.
Right. You're just
if I gotta change that,
super friendly. Like there's a wall and a boundary of being too friendly because sometimes women are just going to come on to you, and I'm sure you've experienced this because of your friendliness or your they feel comfortable talking to you and they start throwing it. So if I'm your woman, I'm ready to like.
Nah, because that understanding is placed there in the beginning. But
it's not. It's just it's making sure that you set that. It's making sure that you set that. And I
said that back. Let me say something. I'm gonna be honest with you. And
because I do know men that are like that, and is their nature. So it's like, oh, my husband's friendly, whatever. Like I would think nothing of it. It's not my husband that I'm concerned about.
My first love, the woman. My first love, my very first love, that I met in college. She always knew that was how my personality was, but she would tell you because when me and her were together, I was in Atlanta, I was working in the nightclub business, and I wasn't just like one of those promoters where I was making $1. We were running a club, and we would be in there with these celebrity chicks, and I'd be all up on my girl because that's all I saw. Right. Like I got to deal with the celebrities. Right. You get them into the club and we get them in there, but that's all I saw. I went to a black church in Atlanta and was in a relationship with a woman. And these women, if you've ever been to a black church with a bunch of single black women, you know how this goes. She was the only one I saw. And I made sure she knew it. And I made sure the women in the church knew it.
And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. So good stuff. All right. We are down to the season and spices because our time is on the roll.
On a rant.
Yeah. So your boy Will Smith is coming back. I'm super excited and super happy for him. There's a new trailer for his new movie that's about to drop on Apple TV and in the theaters, which this one I gotta see in the theaters because I need a big screen. It's called Emancipation, if no one has heard of it. And it he said it was one of the hardest movies he's ever done in his entire career. Now we know all of his body of work. So for him to say that, this movie's gonna be fire.
Philly, what up? I don't know how I feel about it.
You don't like it?
It's not that I don't like it.
It's another slave movie.
Yeah.
You tired of slave movies? I'm tired of slave movies.
I'm torn because
how many more slave movies we need?
I'm torn because Will Smith is one of my goats. Like, that's hometown. And I don't give a fuck what anybody say about that Chris Rock slap, especially when you see how that motherfucker's acted over the last 7-8 months. Somebody need to slap him again. But I have a hard time. I don't want to see another slave movie. I don't. I really don't.
I think it's really difficult today to have any more slave movies because you still, it's my opinion, you still feel like it's
fresh
in it. It's still fresh, and it's still happening today, just in different ways. Whether it's work, I was talking to this guy today that I met at anyway, and I was sharing how, like, whatever, and I was sharing how, I was pissed off the first time I had a white man Caucasian, I didn't mean to say that, a white peer, and we had the same job, and he was showing me his check because he thought we got the same amount, and we were trying to see what our bonus was.
It was blowing you out the water. I know it.
Yeah. I had the job before him. He got the job 6 months later in the same position as me, and he went from one role to the next. I came in as a supervisor, and he was making like $5,000 or $6,000 annually more than me. And I just thought, I think maybe 10, because his bonus was much higher than mine. And he was like, that's what we're getting, right? And I just looked and I was like, yeah. But the whole time I'm like, why is he getting paid this much more than me? You know what I mean? And we're doing the same job. It's just that I'm a Black woman and I'm not getting paid. And I say all that to say, like, when it comes to these slave movies, it's only but so much entertainment we gonna have about it. Like,
I'm not entertained by these fucking slave
like
movies.
it's like, how many more slave movies do y'all want to do? We done had Django. We done had every slave movie. How many times can you recreate the present?
They show Roots every year.
That's one movie I won't watch.
You've never seen Roots?
I don't want to.
Roots is a film I feel like you should see.
I've seen clips, and I just couldn't.
Roots and Queen.
Without wanting to go strangle anybody, it was like.
Well, in my family, that we were education on Black culture and who we are and where we came from was important. I watched Roots, I think, as young as like 8 years old. Wow. And it wasn't like my mom forced me to do it, but it's like, yo, in Philadelphia,
she wanted to,
in Philadelphia schools, and then like my mom didn't shy away from exposing me to stuff, so that like she kept me as a kid, but she didn't shy me away from like what was real in life. Now, it's Will Smith. I'm gonna support it because it's Will Smith. I don't want to see any more slave movies. I do understand also selfishly that there are so many more stories out there that have to be told. And this was a real situation. Movies like Till, which I'm actually excited to see because it looks beautiful.
I've seen the series.
Right, it looks beautifully done, but I want to get to a point to where we don't continuously relive these things, especially when you consider that like we're going to the movies to see this, right? Then we're coming out of the theaters, and then we're watching the news. Now, I don't want to sound ignorant when I say this, because I understand that cinema like this is needed. I'm just saying it's not something that I just get super excited to see. I go into this with heartbreak, understanding I need to learn a lesson from this and knowing what it truly is. But it's like, it's rough, man. It's rough. And then like when I consider like, you know, like to converse with my grandmother who is mixed, and understanding, like having conversation with her about how she grew up, and even like my mom, like, you know what I'm saying, when she was coming up, and some of the things that she dealt with, you know, being, you know, a lighter skinned child, and talking to my aunts who, like, you know what I'm saying, went through what they went through. I just want to get to a point to where this is not all we're showing on a constant basis, and it seems like these films get the most burn.
Right, there's such a bigger positive like movement that we could be on when it comes to Black films about Black people. Yeah. Why don't we have enough of those positive movies?
I would love to see a film on Marcus Garvey.
Yeah,
I would love to see a film on Robert Smalls, which apparently a couple of my friends have had dreams where I play Robert Smalls in a movie. I don't know why. Awesome. I think it's because we look alike.
That would be dope. So
I want to see more movies about Black liberation.
Eartha Kitt.
I don't want to get Eartha Kitt's movie is coming actually.
It is? Oh, yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So I feel like if we're gonna have more Black movies and it's about back in the day, let's talk about the ones you didn't hear. Like, and I'm sorry, y'all, we're running a little over our time, but real quick, I was talking to
folks don't care. If they ain't listening, they ain't listening.
Right. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was sharing how I didn't grow up. I although I lived in the hood, I didn't go to the school that my neighborhood went to. I went to a Catholic school. It was still in the hood, but it was a Catholic school where you know, you practice the Catholic stuff and you watch, you know, Jesus movies, and then I didn't go to public school until I moved to a mixed area where, you know, white, Indian, a whole Hispanic. So I didn't get that opportunity to grow up in a school that shared Black history at all. By the time I got to high school, my town was Jewish. So, you know, we got off of Yom Kippur. We got, you know, all the friends had bat mitzvahs and stuff like that. But I didn't have the opportunity to be educated in, and I didn't grow up in a household that was for Black education, like, you know, about Black people for Black people. So I was saying how, you know, there is still a need, I feel, for a lot of kids right now that need to be educated on Black history, because there are a lot of schools that do not teach it unless you live in the inner city. And you know, unfortunately, there are Black kids that live in the suburbs, but they don't get taught. So when I went to high school, you know, I mean, not to find business out there, but, you know, when I went to history class and social study class, I was probably high. Like, I don't smoke anymore, but I didn't care about social, like, I was so like, I was on some like, why do I care about white people history? And that's no, you know, no disrespect to anybody. And I, you know, I don't get high anymore. That's not my thing. So I just want to put that out there. But at the time during high school, yeah, like I was like, listen, I'm going to sleep, because, and I used to tell the teacher, like, one time y'all want to talk about Black people is in February. So at this point, there's the rest of the year doesn't matter to me, you know? And so I say that to say, like, I think that there is a huge need for African-American studies and more of those movies, and, you know, parents, and, you know, educating your kids, because you do have to know your history. Like, you have to know it for the reason of being inspired to know that we can do it, instead of just hearing about slave ships. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's it. I'm done with that rant, but I wanted to say that.
You went on another rant, and I'll let you do it. I literally
you let me do it. You did. You let me do it, and you could have stopped me. Like, you really could have stopped me.
I've been sitting up here texting to you and writing to you exactly what you told me to send to you when you go above and beyond.
You didn't send it.
I didn't send it on purpose, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and wrap
anyway. we trying to keep this time thing happening. It's a process, so just bear with us.
Okay, let's get into what you're watching, what you listening to.
All right. Right now, what am I watching? I've watched so much in the last few days that I'm like, what am I watching? Well, I just watched The Dream Team on Netflix, which was really dope.
You mean the Dream Team documentary?
The Dream Team documentary. Yeah, I've been on a documentary kick. So I watched that, but last night I was scrolling, I was like, I don't think it's nothing really that good right now. So I kind of paused for watching stuff. I think I'm about to pick up some books and kind of focus on reading, because I don't really think it's nothing out yet. What?
There you go, because you need to read.
You need to read too. Reading is fundamental.
I read all the time. I wear glasses.
When does wearing glasses equate to reading?
I'm fucking smart. I'm a black man out here and I wear glasses. I say words like sophisticated and copacetic on a regular basis. Everybody knows.
Copacetic is the black man highest word to say. I'm copacetic. That's more of a street slang. Anyway, all right.
Copacetic is not street slang. Copacetic means in excellent order.
I know, but I've heard that from the most hood men, because that's the word that they know. So it's like, how you doing? I'm copacetic. Everything copacetic. How you doing, brother?
This is how I talk.
All right. Anyway, what are you listening to? What are you watching, Will?
Yo, the slander is real out here, bro. If you hating on me, I must be doing something right, because you hate on Beyonce on a daily basis. Anyway,
Lies.
I'm watching All American. Just started.
It's on. It's back.
Yeah.
I didn't see that it was back.
Stop interrupting me. You went on your rant. All American is back on. All American Homecoming has also returned. HBO Max just dropped Wall Street season 2. That's the Mark Wahlberg documentary show where it talks about him and his businesses and all that.
That's on my next thing. Good.
Albums I'm listening to. I've been listening a lot to tracks from that Babyface album that I don't think
I heard it's really good.
It's amazing, yo.
He has, and I like that he collaborated. Sorry, let me let you talk.
Yeah, it was basically an album of Babyface and like the women of the industry. And also I'm listening to After Seven's new album, which
After Seven has a new album.
Man.
Okay, I wasn't a huge After Seven fan. I wasn't. Not.
You wasn't an After Seven fan?
No.
All right,
I listened to a few songs, but
let's wrap this up. How you ain't listen? And I can't stop.
I love that song. That's what I'm saying. I love a few songs, but a whole, like, can you listen to a whole album from beginning to end? No.
After Seven has enough hits to put out a greatest hit.
No, but then it makes you want to just crawl in the bed and go to sleep.
Bro, what?
All right. Anyway, we are wrapping up this show. We want to thank you for being a part of the Gumbo.
Why did she do this?
And thank you for listening to this episode. Soon we'll be able to say this episode is sponsored by, but that's coming. We're working on it. That is coming. Until then, we will see y'all next week, and I'll be recording from a remote location. I'll share next week.
It ain't. Trust me, it ain't special. I know where she at.
It's special.
Do us a favor, like, share, subscribe. Our social media channels are up. Our Twitter page was just launched. So you can follow us at the Culture Gumbo Pod everywhere. Also look for our podcast, our other podcasts that are coming up. You see, I'm not 20 anymore behind you. I think that's dead though. I think she's gonna come back with some fire.
It's about to change. Yeah.
You can catch me on Mondays on the 494 podcast. You can catch me on Tuesdays on the main card on the MTMV network. A shout out to y'all, man, for just listening and supporting us, man. We coming. We appreciate y'all. We do this for y'all. We hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Shout out to my Philadelphia Phillies who are going to the NLCS. You see the hat, man. Support the squad, man. What up, Philly? Y'all have a wonderful night, and of course, because y'all ain't really got no teams where you from.
Shut up. We have the Nets. Well, it was Brooklyn Nets.
The Nets
we have the hockey team.
You can't even name the hockey team.
Because I don't watch hockey.
Exactly. So I'm not trying to hear it.
Well, that's because they bought the Nets. So whatever. Okay.
Stop it. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next Thursday.